guarantee. I now give the floor to the representative of the Russian Federation to make a statement.
Thank you, Chair. Distinguished colleagues, it is a great honor for me to present a crucial initiative to the Third Committee with 41 co-sponsors from all regions of the world, namely the resolution on to counter the use of information and communications technologies for criminal purposes. The scope of the harm caused by criminals using ICT has spread far and wide. Harmful use of computer technology has threatened the operations of entire economic sectors, and many countries consider protection from cyber attacks to be a crucial national security priority. Despite this fact, we lack a universal instrument to counter this criminal actions. At the international level, the situation is exacerbated not only by the absence of a full-fledged international legal basis for cooperation, but also of a unified conceptual framework. Moreover, the UNGA did not even address this issue until last year. Resolution 73/187 was adopted. It was the beginning of inclusive international dialogue. I wish to take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to those states that supported that resolution. In accordance with that resolution, the UN Secretary General prepared a report outlining states' contributions to addressing issues facing successfully combating this issue, that of cybercrime. The report explains that this type of crime is transborder in nature. However, states' legislations is often fragmented and neither materially or procedurally legally harmonized. Many states have the means to use regional instruments. However, their number and geographic scope are limited. Thus, there is a clear need to bolster international cooperation in this area so as to reach a new universal level. Many years of experience have shown that such a qualitative leap is possible on the basis of a convention to counter the use of ICTs for criminal purpose under the United Nations, one that would address the interests of all states without exception and be based on sovereign equality of states and non-interference into domestic affairs. Such an instrument would help unify state legislation and create channels for rapid and effective assistance for law enforcement. Preparing such an international treaty would allow for the development of a single standard which would give momentum to assistance provided to developing countries, both from donors and from the United Nations itself. On the basis of such a convention, the United Nations would be able to play a key role in mobilizing international efforts to combat crime in the area of ICTs. The resolution prepared with our authors envisages the creation of a negotiating platform under the General Assembly to begin dialogue and work on such a convention. The platform would be a special committee involving experts from all countries of the world, and this committee in 2020 will hold its first organizational session in New York here so as to ensure that most countries possible can take part. During that session, modalities and further work of the committee would be agreed upon. A similar approach was used for the UN Convention Against Corruption and the UN Convention on Trans-Border Organized Crime. The resolution directed plans for the committee to include existing international and regional instruments in its work, those that would also include the Budapest Convention to combat cybercrime. We are convinced that regional instruments and the future UN treaty must complement and strengthen each other, as is seen in other spheres, such as, for example, the fight against terrorism. The resolution also envisions that the committee must take on board the results of the work of the Vienna group of experts on cybercrime, and their report is expected next year. Taking this factor on board, the substantive work of the Committee on the Convention will begin in 2021. Russia fully supports the Vienna Group and, like many other countries, is a sponsor of that group. Distinguished colleagues, the draft resolution we are presenting envisages that the era of club agreements must... Microphone to the speaker, please.
Oui, continuez, monsieur.
Yes, please continue, sir. Thank you, Chair. I'm almost finished. This era of club-based agreements must be replaced by democratic and negotiation process. It is crucial for us that this process be open, inclusive, and transparent. This resolution doesn't cost much, less than $200,000. This is especially true when considering those tasks that it must solve. Despite this, ITEX must include donor funds for it to be implemented, and our country is ready to support it, including through providing assistance to participants from developing countries. Dear friends, today, each of your votes is important to carry out this initiative, one that is aimed at achieving a just and balanced world order in the digital spheres. I thank you.
Je vous remercie, monsieur le représentant.
I thank the representative of the Russian Federation. I give the floor